Good afternoon. I will be doing this live soon on Zoom with a group of women across Canada. And I wasn't going to record the Zoom because I don't like recording Zoom all the time. And I wanted to try this feature out on Canva. Anyways, welcome to Grant Proposals with me, Tia Upshaw. I'm the CEO of BWIE, also known as Black Women in Excellence. So, let me take you guys through a brief introduction of who I am. For those who don't know me, I'm going to introduce. The ones who do, kind of block off the ears, turn off the page. I don't know because you probably don't want to hear it again. Again, I'm the CEO of BWIE. I am a serial entrepreneur. I am a mother of three beautiful children. Well, they're not really children no more, they're adults, and one's a young adult. I am the nominee for Business Leader of the Year for 2022 and 23 with the Halifax Chamber of Commerce. Wish me luck on Thursday. Hopefully, I take that award home and a nominee for RBC's Women of Influence 2021 and 22. And I am the CEO and founder of Black Women in Excellence. I am also a mentor at Rise and Scotiabank's Women Mentorship Initiative in partnership with the Forum. I am also known as a well-known motivational speaker, keynote speaker, facilitator. Most recently, I have become a content creator for entrepreneurship and a diversity, equity, inclusion accreditation creator for financial institutions across Canada. So I got a lot of experience behind me. Black Women in Excellence is a non-for-profit organization that supports the education and empowerment of Black women in Nova Scotia to become self-employed and sustainable businesses. The organization started 2020, guys. It's been a wonderful couple of years, and it was to support, encourage, and educate Black women entrepreneurs through cohorts, workshops, seminars, community partnerships and engagements, coaching calls, and mentorship initiatives. And as you know, we do much more than that now. Here's the problem. This is why I'm coming today with this, miniature workshop. Lack of Black organizations and businesses accessing funding. Problem number one is accessibility. Funding announcements are not in our community. There's a huge disconnect between us and them, both of us. There's a huge disconnect. Problem two, intentionally set for us not to apply. Financial literacy, as data already shows, is low in our communities. The language used in these applications is so foreign to most of us that we don't even bother applying. And if we do, we don't understand what's being asked of us, and we submit stuff that does not align with the funder's request. Problem number three, not knowing how to construct a proposal. Constructing a proposal it is art. It is an art and has to be a creative way of demonstrating your organization or business aligns with the funder's objectives. Excuse me. Now I talk about problems because people like to talk about problems, but what am I doing to solve these? The first solution, call for action. This is why I'm here today. Second, I'm gonna go through step by step of a proposal. Third, have the confidence, you guys, just to apply, to have our data in the systems, regardless if we get these, excuse me, funds or not. To have the data of so many Black businesses and organizations applying for funding and being told no, we can come back to the individuals later on and say, well, here's the stats. How come so many of us were told no? So have the confidence to apply. What we will cover today, we will cover the proposal layouts and communication. Okay, let's get ready. When choosing a grant application, choose a grant application that is aligned with your business or organization. Please do not apply for one where you have to change your objectives of your company or organization to meet their objectives. It just doesn't make sense to do that. Brainstorm as to why you need this funding for. Like, if you have a great idea already in the parking lot, waiting to be able to implement, but you're waiting for money to be able to do this project or initiative. Do not just apply to say you want to get funding. You will need you will need concrete initiatives, ideas, or cause to ask for this funding. Now, your final report at the end is going to reflect your initial application. So if you're applying for funding just to get funding and you really don't have a real initiative or a project or anything like that, you'll be able to tell that from your final report. Your contact. On all grant applications, you guys, I promise you, no joke. All grant applications, there will be a contact person with their phone number or email or and or email, where you can reach out to them. Reach out and ask any of the questions you don't know what certain terms mean. Ask them. Reach out, build a relationship. Reach out and just say, "Hi, my name is T. I'm the CEO of Black Women in Excellence, and I just wanted to let you know I love this new initiative that you guys have with regards to new funding, and myself as a Black organization look forward to applying," and forward them to your website. Build a relationship. Next, read through the criteria and eligibility with a microscope, with a fine tooth comb. There is no point of wasting your resources on applying for a grant that your business organization does not qualify, guys, for. It makes no sense, especially if you need to have partners. When I say partners, I mean when they say charitable status or an approved donee. That means that they're looking for you to partner with someone who has charitable status as an organization, and that could be a church, that could be another local Black organization, but that's basically what they're telling you. But if you don't read that fine print, you're just wasting your time applying for money that you don't even have leverage to have because you don't have the partnerships. Go over to their websites. Every grant that comes out, provincial, federally, financial institutions, other organizations, they will have a website, and you'll be able to see what their objectives is for their like for their business organization, division of provincial government or federal. Um, let's be an example. ACOA. ACOA deals with economic development in Canada, or within Nova Scotia. Sorry, they're not gonna. You can't go to them ask them for money to fix a bike that you broke, not your business through that, but you broke a bike and you need help with funding, or you can't go to them because your home was flooded out. There's other avenues to go for that. You don't go to ACOA for that. ACOA is economic development. But if you don't do the research on where you're applying to, you don't know, and you don't know if you align with their objectives. Brainstorm. My mapping, brainstorming is a jazz for me. Like I love it. You need to be creative and show alignments of the funding application, you guys. Grant writing takes creativity and it definitely is a skill. Literally, you need to be able to sell your vision to the readers, which is usually a lending review committee or just a committee on grants. It is not always a straightforward thing. An example, I did a provincial grant with eliminating homelessness. Most people would think that has nothing to do with entrepreneurship. But I know, coming from low income, that, when you implement entrepreneurship into a home, because I have 3 kids, that becomes, a way to, kind of prevent that homelessness or being on the verge of homelessness, because not only am I directly being affected through entrepreneurship on a good level, my children are. My kids get to watch and learn and hear how I speak and what I'm doing. So, my children end up being entrepreneurs. So it's almost like when, you have your grandmother, anybody's grandmother, if they live in low income, 9 times out of 10, your mother will live there, and then you'll live there, and then your kids will live there, and it just keeps going on. But if you start implementing entrepreneurship in your house, as a way to prevent or eliminate homelessness, you have a good chance that your children's generation won't have to worry about homelessness because they have another way of having a stream of income. And I was able to successfully get that funding for that by being creative with my application and showing how eliminating homelessness, you can do through entrepreneurship. So that's being creative. Next, let's do rough drafts. People, open up a Google document and do rough draft of your proposal. Have someone read over it. There needs to be clarity, grammar, your objectives, data, outcomes, and how they're measured. It's really important for this part. You have to show how this application or proposal you're sending in would benefit not the community. Sorry, not benefit you. It benefits the community. So it's good that you're able to get funding and it will help your organization or business level up. But they want to see a direct impact for the community in what way and how you're going to measure those outcomes. After the corrections have been made, here's the fun part. Take all the information, every piece of it, and start kind of moving it around on Google Doc. and seeing how it flows. And I'm in the next slide, I'm going to go to key sections that you'll cover for your proposal. And once you have those key sections, you'll start copying and dragging and pasting from your brainstorming. And if it flows to you, then you know it makes sense. If you're reading it out loud at looking at your computer screen and you're stumbling and you're, I don't know, stuttering, it's not flowing. If it doesn't make sense to you, it ain't gonna make sense to them. So really have a proposal that flows generously and in your favor. Key sections. This is the part I love the most. Anyways, your key sections. One, project details. You'll want to put, what the name of your project or your initiative is at the top. Your start and end date of your project or initiative. If you have past agreements or past funding from the people you were going after for funding again, you have to put yes or no. If it's a yes, you probably have an agreement number, place that in there. Intro to your background. I don't mean you personally, you. I mean your organization or your business. Give a brief description of the background and the work you've done in the community already. Project description. This is where you're going to talk about what initiative or project you're doing and how's it going to, be laid out, what's going on with it. And then you do your statement of need or intent. That part is the part I like because you're pulling from researches that's already been done in Canada. So for me, with Black Women in Excellence, I utilize the platform Women's Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub, and it's called WEKH, WEKH for short. And I go there to get all of my information with regards to data and researches, like I said, has been done with regards to Black women in business. And once I have, because if you've proven a point, you're saying I need to do this initiative or project because of A, B, C, and D, you have to be able to give the need and intent, and you have to be able to provide data and cite them. You have to do citations so the reader can go and see where you got this information from. That's the fun part for me, because once I do that, I end up going down a rabbit hole though. When I research for one thing, I see something else, and then I end up doing something else. So it can get messy, but you just got to keep your head straight and concentrate on your task. The goal of your project. What is your goal? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to hit? What is your biggest accomplishment with this project or initiative? Expected impact. How is this going to impact the community? And when I say community, I don't just mean if you're a non for profit, you guys. If you have a business and you're in real estate, how is it impacting the community that utilizes your services? If you do hair and makeup, how is the beauty industry being impacted? Those are your communities. Talk about what expected impact you want to have. And even though it hasn't been done yet, you can do that. It's like creating financial projections. You don't know what you're going to make next year, but this is what you expect to make. Outcomes and indicators. You need to talk about what outcomes you want on one side, and then you want to talk about how you're going to measure these indicators on the other side. They need to be able to equal each other out and be weighed on the same level as, okay, they want to do this, and this is how they're going to measure it. There's no way around that. It has to be done. Agreements from the contact person. I'm the contact person for BWIE, so the agreement will be with Tia Upshaw. Location activities. Some of my activities are on Zoom. I would put Zoom. Some are held at 30 Jarvis Lane, which is in Mulgrave Park. I would put that there. Depending, some are down in the valley. I would put that address. Some are over at the Black Cultural Center. I put that address. So depending on where I'm doing these activities for this initiative or project, you have to lay out the address. Participants. I'm going to talk about who I'm targeting. Who do I want to come out to this initiative and be a part of this program, whatever I'm doing? Project activities. Give a clear timeline. And when I say clear, I don't mean, be precise with your dates. I mean clarity of what you're going to do each week or each month or whatever, however it's going to look. It has to be clear and concise. But always put tentative at the top because, you could get sick. Funding could be slow coming in, so you have to push it off a week or two. So always make sure you use that word tentative. So, key sections, once again, I'll go through them quickly. Project details, intro to your background of your organization or business, project description, statement of need and intent, goal of project, activities, expected impact, outcomes and indicators, agreement, content or contact person, location of activities, participants, and project activities. Whew, I need a drink on that. So those are the key sections that you would write out, on your proposal. And I'm not gonna really show this part because it's being recorded. I don't want it spread all across. I will be showing this later on this afternoon with the women. A difference between federal and provincial proposals, what they look like, organization and other, what they look like, and financial institutions, what that looks like. Because all proposals are different. But again, you have to pay attention to the language of every grant proposal that you're applying for. And even if you're not going after a grant that was announced and you're going to the federal provincial government asking for money, you have to have a clear, concise, verbiage of what you're looking for. And one thing that I didn't cover on the slide, and I do apologize, is a budget. There has to be a budget. If you're looking for $150,000, you need to break that down of what the $150,000 is going to be utilized for. And when you do your final report, all that will be in there with your final payouts, paid invoices, receipts, or whatever it may be. So, we want to see everybody reach out and apply for funding when it's announced. But again, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons because you have to do a final report. You can't get away with not doing one. And if you could, then I mean, it happens, it slips through the cracks. But I guarantee you can't go back to that same funder again and ask for money the following year. So keep that in mind. So I just want to say, thank you very much for joining me today. Later on, I'm hoping you guys join the Zoom because it's probably going to be more detailed, more questions asked. But with everything in life, it takes practice, makes perfect. Everybody knows that. The more you do proposals, you guys, the more you'll get better at it. I've worked on this for near over 2 years at this point, and I've put myself in positions on committees, on boards, and whatnot to understand the language, to understand how they decide who gets what. I'm in these spaces not just to benefit me personally, but to be able to benefit my people around me, black sisters, black women that look like me, come from where I come from, to be able to leverage this funding, because there's a lot of funding out there for black organizations and black businesses, and we're not able to leverage it for whatever reason. Like I said earlier on, it's a huge disconnect. But I want to play a part in ensuring this money gets smoothed out evenly across the board. So that's why I did this today. And if anybody wants to contact us, feel free to go over to bwiecanada.com. Our website is fully interactive. You can see all our events, cohorts. You can see, our directory that's very new. If you're looking for a Black women-owned business right before Black History Month, you're looking to support, go over there and click. You'll be taken right to their website or their social media portfolio or panel, I should say. You can see some testimonials. You can see our data, how many women we work with. Well, I should say I work with in the last 2 years. You can see videos from community engagement, our pitch competition. Our website is the bomb diggity. Well, yeah, there we are. Like I said, I hope people join to our call later on. It's going to be amazing. But I figured I would just do this shortly so you guys can take this information down and save it if you need to. But again, remember, it's a beautiful day to be a Black woman, and I'll see you guys again later on. Thanks.